is long, and the title is Elegant Web Application Separating User Interface from Data Using MDDM. So I am now looking into how to build elegant web applications. And this is kind of bigger picture, and elegant is a word that I'm using. And if you've been in Toastmasters and Techmaster here for a while, I was looking for that short word that can be labeled and stick to something. And usually we say simple, but simple solution. But simple does not work here because simple, it is really simple. If we would like to solve a problem, really simple way, but more like elegant. So it is a complex problem, but when you solve it, it is done in a maintainable way, extendable way. It also has user usability and pretty appealing look. And this is now I'm kind of researching on a area how to build elegant web application, business application. Why not business application? But have data and usability. And part of that picture is separating user interface from data. And today, this is even smaller part. What kind of JavaScript libraries we can use, and how we can separate traditional, we may say, traditional way of building web application versus elegant way of building web applications. And yes, this is speech is technical, and that's why I'm part of Tech Masters, because I would like to speak about technical tactics and use these ideas when presenting at my company, and at some point planning to present at user groups and conferences. So today, I would like to approach this as a sample kind of session. So we will have kind of three part of screen. And here we will have a web form. Let's say we develop a business application, and we will do it more in an imaginary business application. So my son recently playing, two sons playing Wizards 101, where they training in magic and later exercising with magic. And they can create wizards groups, and we will try to see what we can do and how we can do this. So let's say we are doing just a regular web form. Any application have web forms, and web applications have web forms. So let's say it has three fields. Like we would have a wizard, and this wizard will have a name, has to be entered here. Last name has to be entered here. And let's say school, founder, air, and we have this very simple web form. And we will try to use it by employing jQuery library. This is well-known library that helps manipulate DOM elements, assign elements, get data from it. And another column where I would mention about knockout JS. This is kind of very new library, and jQuery library is essentially making DOM API very simple and very convenient. Main point of it is to have a selectors where you can very quickly select elements, select group of elements, apply group operation on them, and apply them in a functional way where you say, almost like writing English language. I would like to select this group, repaint it this way, move it this way, and do something this way. So you're writing it almost like an English code, and you may say, this is actually perfect. You doing it, it's very readable, very maintainable. What can be better? And yes, this is very good, but what can be better? If we remember Silverlight, which is still around, Silverlight brought to Spotlight abbreviation MVVM, Model View Model pattern. It's kind of very complex, but essentially main point of this pattern is to you have user interface and you have data. Don't mix them together, separate them. And if you are a traditional web developer, you may say, this is give me more time to develop applications. What I will do, I will just generate HTML from server. And I feed it to the browser. And later, if I need to assign here name, I will just use jQuery selectors, put here element, and assign tag to it. And I will get this team name here. And this is how I will do. Later, of course, in a form, we have this submit button. I need to send it back to the server. So later, I will do it with JavaScript. I will do on click, again, grab elements and do a JAX call by doing this, putting it, and send it to web server. And you may say, pretty elegant solution, and this is very good that you are using this, because jQuery helps you do this very concise way, step by step, and with dotted notation so you can read. And let's look at this form. jQuery has a serialization of the form. So when you have it, you can say form serialize here, and data can go in key value notation. Key1, key2, and this will go to the server, so it's very easy. Yes, you have name, last name, school, and it will just go to the server and you're done. But let's say you go into more complex business, and here you would like to have two wizards. So this is wizard 1, and you would like to have wizard 2. And you would like to have name for that wizard, last name, and school. Now, how you would do this with jQuery? It means now you need to assign kind of special IDs. You need some repetition here. And how you would do? You need to say, oh, I have key 1, key 2, yes, to send it to server. It's maybe convenient, but it's okay. But you see, if you have 5 wizards, you would create this kind of notation. So let's go back. What brings knockout to us? Knockout says, do not put data into user interface. I will do it for you. So essentially, we would have JavaScript array, for example, for this. And we will have many wizards. And this array, JSON, will have name, last name, school. And we may have multiple wizards, yes? Name, last name, school. And this data will go to this form through JSON. And this is our view model. This is actual object. And JSON can be generated from Ruby on Rails, from C#. And what is good about it is that modern framework can transform it seamlessly from your C# object, from any other object into JSON, and back from JSON to your C# object. So you generating this object in a web service, and when you sending it, you're not sending it with HTML, you send it separately, and it sits in memory. And what Knockout does, you do convention and saying that with similar to, let's say, jQuery, element of name will have to have wizard name, and it will associate UI with this object. And what it does, what else it does, as soon as this object updated, it will place data here in this in this object. And if there is another form on the screen, you update this object, it automatically places it here. Next, it is time to send this data to server when we click submit button. So what Knockout does, instead of scraping UI by using this, it says you have this object, now send it the way you want. It's already all representation of your data. What else would come out of there? Let's say we have a school, and that school has spells. So now it's even more complex object, yes? So essentially here, you just say, I have array of spells for this school. And you can put these spells here, and you can transfer this object. You can have complex object in C# with multiple objects, and you can have it in a JSON transfer it, and you can assign it, map it through this mapping. So if complex object come to browser, it's displayed here. It's time to submit. You are not scraping it from you, you're not building. You have it already. You just send it. Next, let's say for this wizard, you would like to calculate power of it. And it depends on these spells here and a school. So let's say you have a school of death and you're using death spell. It multiplies. But if you have school of life but you using death spell, it decreases power. So you need to have here, for example, a number. How your spells and school match. And to do it in jQuery, you would need complex functions and you will need to scrape from screen by selectors this number here, and calculate it. In Knockout, you still need a calculation, but all this stuff you have already in the data. So you can put logic here and multiplying it and update this number again automatically through observable. If you change this thing, it's called computable counts. It can update it instantly if you change. So in short, if we're doing just very simple form, you can do it quickly with just HTML and improve it with jQuery. But let's say you're doing business applications, it has to be expandable. Let's say your objects are complex, they're not just flat, key value appears. And they have multiple nested levels. And you're saying that now, as a phase 1 of a project, I will do simple structure. But later, I would like to add more complexity in phase 2, phase 3, and I still would like to use same API, just same object, but can be extended, will travel back and forward between client and server. And here we can employ MVVM, essentially separating user interface from data, and later in applying with libraries, how to, with concept of observables, put this data into UI and later send this data to the server. So this is a brief introduction to Knockout library, and you can look at on the search engine, and I will keep in next speech continue my elegant web applications with this topic. Thank you.